She also told jurors about when she spanked Trump, quote, right on the butt with a copy of one of his magazines.
The jury's engaged, they're paying attention to the facts.
Sometimes I think with the last testimony, I saw some giggles, obviously. And
really seemed to relish saying orange turd.
Hi, welcome to Street Politics. My name is Reese Waters. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the page so you get notified when the next video drops. Now, if you're anything like me, you ain't been paying no attention to this Trump hush money trial. And the reason why is simple. The next time this man is held accountable for his actions would be the first. I have absolutely no reason to think that this is the moment in which he finally has to pay for his many, many transgressions.
You can't keep getting away with it! You can't keep getting away with it!
I have no reason to think that any more than I will be watching SVU in the 4th episode of season 8 and be like, oh, is this a time where Olivia finally loses her badge? No. We are in May in an election year. I have absolutely no reason to think that. And for that reason, I ain't really been following the day-to-day. But that don't mean I don't see these memes. That don't mean I don't see these memes and these jokes. So for those of you that want to get caught up on what everybody else is laughing at, this is what I'm here for you today to present. Let's start with the one and only David Pecker.
Boy, ain't no way, boy. Boy, ain't no way, boy. Boy, ain't no way, boy.
And no, that is not a joke. That is his real life name, who in 1999 took over AMI, which is the publisher of several supermarket tabloids, including Us Weekly and Men's Journal, and most importantly, the National Enquirer. I should probably do a whole video about media conglomerates at some point. I had no idea Men's Journal was out here hanging out with National Enquirer. I had no idea. They got the same pappy. Let me find out that I am getting tabloid workout tips. I had no idea. Well, David Pecker testified that he was asked by Trump and Michael Cohen in August of 2015 at a meeting, quote, what can I do and what can my magazines do to help the campaign? Throughout that meeting, Pecker said he would run and publish positive stories about Trump, negative stories about his opponents, and use AMI's vast network of sources to let Trump and Cohen know if there were any negative stories that could potentially go public, saying, quote, I could be your eyes and ears. And some of these stories that were published about Trump's opponents during that time, quote, bungling surgeon Ben Carson left sponge in patient's brain. Or how about conjoined twins died after Ben Carson's botched operations? Booze and Ted Cruz destined to lose. Donald Trump blasts Ted Cruz's dad for photo with JFK assassin. Family man Marco Rubio's love child stunner. And last but not least, Senator Marco Rubio's cocaine connection. Marco Rubio, Ben Carson, I don't really need to talk to Ted Cruz because we already know that he has no sense of pride in himself for him not even defending his own wife. But here y'all are, still caping for this. He was complicit in publishing Senator Marco Rubio's cocaine connection. Ben Carson, Mr. Gifted Hands, he talking about you leaving sponges up in people's domes. Y'all should be with Ted Cruz. Y'all go ahead and hang out with Ted Cruz in the no spine section and see if any of Ben Carson's friends could help get them on the implant list. Now, when news of Stormy Daniels' alleged affair with Trump started to come to light, Pecker refused to purchase her story. And yes, I smile a little bit on the inside every time I say Pecker during a hush money trial involving a porn star, saying, quote, I told Michael Cohen after paying the doorman story and the Karen McDougal that I wasn't going to pay anything further, and I wasn't a bank, he testified. There is no possible way I buy the story for 120 grand, and I don't want anything to do with a porn star. Okay, let me first rewind. There was a doorman story that they caught and killed earlier about Trump having a love child. Karen McDougal allegedly had an affair with Trump that goes back years, but she apparently didn't want the story to become public. She just wanted to use it as leverage to get back into the public eye. Okay, now, David Pecker saying, I don't want anything to do with a porn star. How about your mustache, sir? How about your mustache? Does your mustache want anything to do with a porn star? Because it looks like your mustache is very at home with a porn star, as is your surname, sir. You most certainly need to look in the mirror, or go ahead and look at your checks that are coming in via AMI and the National Enquirer. Since when is the National Enquirer too good for anybody?
Well, Donald Trump is in the bowels of Manhattan in a courtroom listening to a porn star. I mean, is she even a star? I don't know.
I don't know.
I can confirm that yes, she is in fact. And in that vein, let me say, I'm not going to be holier than thou. I, at this point in my life, have reconciled that most of my heroes, and certainly those involved in politics, and so certainly those with money, wealth, and privilege, are involved in dalliances that wouldn't go over well at Sunday school. I know that at this point. I just assume that at this point, okay? This story on his face, honestly, doesn't really bother me. It really doesn't. It really doesn't bother me whether or not he got it in with Stormy Daniels. What bothers me is the lying. When you insult my intelligence by not admitting the thing that we can all see, that opens up a whole host of other questions of things you might be lying about.
I've met with many, many world leaders. I've traveled around the world. I should not have put that anecdote in the book, and at my request, they have removed it.
That specific meeting didn't happen?
I'm saying that I'm not talking about that meeting. I'm not talking about my meetings with world leaders.
But you
there's
do
some
talk
that are
about
in the
meetings
book.
with world leaders.
There's some that are in the book, and then there's some that's not in the book. Many
but why
of them,
are there
actually.
two specific mentions of meeting Kim Jong-un and talking about him, and a specific memory? I'm sure he underestimated me, having no clue about my experience staring down little tyrants. Did you tell your ghostwriter to write that?
I specifically have worked on policy for over 30 years. And over that time, I have traveled around the world, and I have met with leaders around the world. And that anecdote, I've asked them to change the content, and it will be removed.
It's a simple question. Did you or did you not meet with Kim Jong-un?
That's the answer that I have for you.
Enter Stormy Daniels, who previously told CNN that Trump said she reminded him of his daughter.
He told me I reminded him of his daughter. I felt like he was being sympathetic to me. Ivanka is beautiful and she's blonde, and I'm sure she's had people assume that she's an idiot. But I felt like as this father figure who has watched his daughter be treated a certain way could identify with me. I thought we had this mutual respect. Which is why it was so crazy when, having no red flags whatsoever in a conversation, I came out of a bathroom to find myself cornered.
Daniels goes on to testify that Trump came on to her in a penthouse hotel suite where he answered the door in silk or satin pajamas that reminded her of Playboy mogul Hugh Hefner. And you know, on the inside, he just, yeah, it could have been anybody creepy. She went with Hugh Hefner. Daniels described what was in Trump's hotel room. She described the dinner conversation. She was impressed that Trump asked her about the business of the adult film industry and not just the sex. And that is pretty on brand. He would really be focused on the business aspect of sex. She also told jurors about when she spanked Trump, quote, right on the butt with a copy of one of his magazines.
The jury's engaged. They're paying attention to the facts.
Sometimes I think with the last testimony, I saw some giggles, obviously. And
Daniels then said that after she went to the bathroom, she emerged to find Trump on the hotel bed in his boxers.
The jury's engaged. They're paying attention to the facts.
Sometimes I think with the last testimony, I saw some giggles, obviously.
and a t-shirt. She said that Trump stood up between me and the door, not in a threatening manner. He didn't come at me. He didn't rush at me, nothing like that. But that later led to an encounter during which she said she blacked out.
The jury's engaged. They're paying attention to the facts.
Sometimes I think with the last testimony, I saw some giggles, obviously.
But does remember that it was unprotected.
Boy, ain't no way, boy. Boy, ain't no way, boy. Boy, ain't no way, boy.
So this man is such a germaphobe that he doesn't even want to eat when he's traveling to certain countries, but he out here freewheeling it with a professional? Trump would throw a temper tantrum during Daniels' questioning, and I will defend him here because I really think that there isn't a man walking the earth that wouldn't throw a temper tantrum, having to sit there quiet while somebody told a story of how they handled their business. I think we all would throw a temper tantrum. Like, even stuff that's not even like, that's in bounds. Like, yeah, I don't necessarily want her to know I do that thing with my feet. Like, you know what I mean? I'm just saying, we all a little, you know what I mean? He does get a pass on that one. However, Trump's ego needs to be stroked by everybody, and I mean everybody. He made a point because he met Stormy Daniels at a golf tournament. He made a point to confirm that celebrities like Aaron Rodgers, Charles Barkley, and Ben Roethlisberger were at the tournament, but also made sure to get it into the record that he performed well, that he played well at this tournament. This man is in a hush money trial for allegedly paying for silence during a dalliance with a porn star that he met at a golf tournament, and he is focused on people thinking he played well at the golf tournament. That is the level of vanity that we are talking about here. If he handled that poorly, I can't imagine how he handled the late night appearances.
But I think most telling about the testimony today was that this was a masterclass in cross-examination.
Oh, yeah. Let's see how that went.
That's right. That's how Donald Trump's day went today. The woman he has paid more money to than any woman he hasn't married, criminal defense attorney Susan Nicholas, repeatedly called her client, Donald Trump, the orange turd on what she thought was an effective cross-examination of Stormy Daniels. So imagine Donald Trump sitting in that courtroom today, slumped in his chair, leaving his eyes closed for long stretches, being forced to listen with eyes closed or eyes open to one of his criminal defense lawyers on whom he has lavished money provided by his political contributors. Listen to her repeatedly call him the orange turd. And Donald Trump is, of course, the most vain human being who has ever entered that courthouse. But his colossal vanity combined with his even more colossal stupidity leaves us unable to tell what he was experiencing. A normal person couldn't be more humiliated. Donald Trump? Was that the first time he's heard himself referred to as the orange turd?
That was the masterclass? Jeannine Piero.
This woman, there's something off about her. There really is.
Now, these are the tweets that the defense referenced. And Laura Ingraham was not happy.
You notice that Anderson Cooper really seemed to relish saying orange turd? How many times did he say it? Well, we didn't have the drinking game going, but we might as well have. Again, humiliation of Trump. The only goal here.
Apparently by his own lawyer, but of course you wouldn't let facts get in the way of a trash narrative over at Fox News. So I gotta ask you, why are y'all so mad?
In her 2 days on the stand and in other exhibits entered into evidence, Daniels comes across as not only an angry shrew, but an angry shrew who's also an extortionist.
Oh, I get it now. I get it now, because you worked so hard to get to this point in your life, and you have just sworn complete loyalty and fealty over to Donald Trump, but he's looking over here. He's over here hollering at the Karen McDougalls and the Stormy Daniels. He would never look at you the same way he looks at Stormy Daniels, to the point that finances have even been affected. Money has allegedly changed hands because of how much he's looking over here, and he wouldn't look over here for 2 seconds. I get it. This is just hardcore pick-me behavior. I see you, Laura Ingraham. Well, it's just a matter of time before Trump markets the Trump Daniels tape with a free copy of the Constitution attached, and you can get all of the orange Jesus that you want, including the skin that Stormy Daniels said felt like a 60-year-old, which I guess, given his age, it's actually not bad. Trump faces 34 counts of falsifying business records to hide the repayment to his former lawyer, Michael Cohen, for the $130 grand payment to Daniels. He is denied the charges and the alleged affair, which makes you wonder, what would the motivations be of somebody, you know, not named Laura Ingraham or Jeannine Piero, of somebody making up an affair with Donald Trump? What would their motivations possibly be?
I'll tell you, Laura, this woman, there's something off about her. There really is.
Now, I'd agree with you there. I will agree with that. First time for everything.
You notice that Anderson Cooper really seemed to relish saying orange turd?